One of the greatest obstacles to success is self-doubt. Is we doubt ourselves. We think maybe I'm not smart enough, or maybe I'm not old enough, or experienced enough, or educated enough. And so self-doubt holds people back. And this spreads into every part of their lives. Now the reverse of self-doubt is self-confidence. So what I tell my children and my grandchildren is, first of all, you have unlimited abilities. You can do anything. You can learn anything you need to learn. You can achieve any goal you can set for yourself. But I also say you are a thoroughly good person. You are a very good person, and you must never doubt yourself. No matter how many problems you have in life, hold on to that. I started off from a poor family with no education, and I began asking, why is it that some people are more successful than others? And I spent my whole life researching the answer to that question. Why are some people more successful? And what we find is that there are specific reasons. It basically starts off with yourself. Is your level of self-esteem, which translates into your level of self-confidence, is the starting point of success. If you like and respect yourself, you will set big goals for yourself. And if you like and respect yourself, you will persist longer, and you'll eventually succeed. And so how you feel, your emotions about yourself, is the starting point and the most important part of success. And so the goal of children, the goal of parents, is to raise children with high levels of self-confidence and self-esteem. Your goal as an adult is to build your own self-esteem, your own mental fitness.
Yeah.
Like physical fitness requires physical exercise, mental fitness, feeling very positive about yourself and your life, requires mental exercise. Now what I discovered, which was one of the most important things of all, is that self-esteem, the other side of self-esteem, is called self-efficacy, which is a word that means that you are good at what you do. So therefore, when you work to become better in your field, whatever you're doing, whether it's in school or in your job, you feel more confident and more positive about yourself. So the more you like yourself, the better you become. And the better you become, the more you like yourself. So you can actually get onto an upward spiral. Which brings us to your subject of success for young people. The key to success is very simple. I've written 2 books on this. Is you must become very good at doing something that is important and valuable. You must become very good at it. There are no successful people who are average. And it takes a long time to become very good at something. It takes a long time to become good at it. But you must be determined from the beginning to work extra hours to become very good at the work that you do. If you do that, every door of opportunity will open for you. Your self-confidence will go up. People will admire you and respect you. So the top 10%, however, are constantly improving. Lifelong improvement, learning new things and becoming better. If you do that, you own the future. And if you don't do that, you are always a victim of rapid change. Most people, the bottom 80%, are lazy. And it's something that it's not polite to talk about. But most people are lazy. And they're looking for an easy way. They're looking for a shortcut to be successful. And there aren't any. But if you do something repeatedly, over and over, you develop a habit. So most people are in the habit of looking for easy ways to get the things they want. And they're surrounded by people who think the same way. You know, as much as 95% of your thinking is determined by the people that you associate with on a regular basis. If you associate with people who don't work hard, don't learn, socialize after work, then you become like them. You think like them, you talk like them, you dress like them. And they don't understand because they're surrounded by people who are not improving either. And they think, well, this must be the way the world is. And so they feel out of control of their lives. But top people associate with other top people. There is what you've heard about the law of attraction. And the law of attraction says that if you change the way you think, you start to attract new people into your life. If you become aggressive about personal development and personal growth, you start to meet other people who think the same way. And the old groups of people that you associated with fall away, and the new group of people appears. So people say, well, where do I find positive people who are thinking about success all the time? First you become one, and then you will naturally attract it. And success is very simple. If you have a clear goal, be clear about the most important goal in your life, the goal that could help you the most if you achieved it. When you're young, it's usually a financial goal, but it may be a health goal or a business goal, a relationship goal. But be clear about your most important goal, and then make a plan to achieve it, and then do something, at least one thing each day, that moves you one step closer to your most important goal. Just a small step. And you become better, your self-confidence goes up, your self-esteem goes up. You become internally motivated and driven to do more. Now, the biggest enemy of success, I would say there's probably 3 enemies of success.
Yeah.
The first big enemy is the comfort zone. Is where people become comfortable doing what they're doing, and they don't like to change. So there's tremendous resistance to change in our society. 80% of the population finds reasons not to change, even if the change can be positive or beneficial. The second thing that holds people back is what is called learned helplessness. This is where people feel, I can't do it. I cannot make a change because of the economy, because of the world, because of my company, because of my childhood. They are always thinking about excuses or reasons why they cannot change, why they cannot do something new or different. And I teach that, and I've taught that for more than 30 years. You can learn anything you need to learn to achieve any goal you can set. You can learn how, which means there are no limits. And that was the big turning point in my life. And the third enemy is what we call the path of least resistance, which is always looking for an easy way to achieve a result. But nothing worthwhile can be achieved easily. Everything worthwhile requires a long period of hard work, with many failures along the way. Well, from a very early age, I have been very persistent. And that's really the most important quality, because every successful person fails over and over again. You lose time, you lose money, you take bad jobs, you make bad investments, you start businesses that don't work, or you produce products that don't sell. So I have never thought about failure. And what I learned later was that successful people don't think about failure. If you say, what were your failures? They do not have an answer for you, because they can't think of having a failure.
Just learning.
But successful people have learning experiences. Painful learning experiences, expensive learning experiences. But I can't think of ever having failed. I've only had interesting learning experiences. And if you learn from each experience, you get smarter and smarter. And it's part of the process of education, of learning what you need to learn. It is impossible to succeed without failing first, and usually without failing many times. I'll tell you a quick story. About 5 years ago, I got a letter from a woman, and she was writing a book on time management. And she said, would I write a testimonial for her book? And I said, of course. I read her book, read the manuscript, good ideas. Of course, I will help. So I wrote a nice testimonial. And she wrote back and said, thank you very much. I was so happy to receive it. And I did not hear from her for about 3 or 4 years. And then she wrote back to me and she told me her story. She had spent 5 years teaching time management, and then writing this book, and then trying to get the book published. And she had an agent, and she went to every publisher, and they all said no, 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 no. And she had decided to give up. And then she received my testimonial in the mail saying, this is a really good book, you should read this. So she took this to her agent, her literary agent, who took it to the publisher. And the publisher said, if Brian Tracy says it's a good book, I will publish it. She published the book. It became a top seller, changed her life completely. She's now written 3 other books that have been published because the first book was successful. She said, the day that I received your testimonial, I was going to quit. because I had tried for so long and was unsuccessful, and I received that, and it changed my life.
I love this story.
Yes. You never know how one act of persistence can be what breaks through. You never know which one it will be. So you find successful people just always persist, because it could be just one more. Just be one more.
Maybe it's the next step.
Yes.
I love this idea.
Yes.
I love that.
Because the greatest single obstacle to success and happiness in life is negative emotions, negative experiences that a person continues to think about. So how do you stop thinking about negative experiences? Is that sometimes your worst experiences can be the handsome prince that changes your life, if you can learn from those experiences. It's interesting, in psychology there is an expression called a sense of control. And people are happy when they feel they are in control of their lives. And people are unhappy when they feel they're out of control or controlled by other circumstances. So if I was to teach a course, and I have designed this in my mind many times, the starting point would be to teach people to set goals. Setting goals is the master skill of success, because from it, everything else is possible. And they can be personal goals, financial goals. So learn how to set goals. First day, what are your goals for this week, this month, this year, 5 years? Where do you want to be in 10 years? You can change as you get new information, but start off with an idea of where you're going. And then make plans to achieve the goals. And then organize the plans. And this is all in my system, my goal setting system. Now, each day you plan your day in advance, and you use your time and you work on achieving the goals that are important to you. You set priorities, and you do things of high value rather than things of low value. You see, when you're doing things of high value, things that are moving you towards something that you want, you feel happy. The more effective they were, the higher was their self-confidence, the higher their self-esteem. So this feeling of forward movement is one of the most important success secrets in the world. Successful people are always moving toward something important to them. And the feeling of movement makes them happy. It releases endorphins in your brain, which cause you to be more creative, more positive, stronger, more powerful. Is so important for success.